What's happening, folks? I'm Mitch Smith, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about a few things that you can do to make your online lessons experience a little bit better for you and your teacher. One thing you want, whether you're taking online lessons or in studio lessons, if you're a musician at all, you want a music stand. A lot of people think they don't need one. They lay their music on the table. It's really hard to look over and see it. If you have a music stand, it's right in front of you. You can play your guitar or whatever instrument you play, and you're looking directly at it. Now, for online lessons, if you're using your phone, this is a great place to set your phone. I see a lot of my students, they start out with their phones up like this, and a lot of times when you're recording that way, you can imagine missing part of the guitar. The part that your teacher needs to see is this hand over here. So turn your phones this way. And another common mistake I see with my students, sometimes they lay their phone on something, maybe a table or something, and I see the tops of their heads. I don't even see their guitar at all. So a music stand will help you get the correct angle. And if you really need to stand it up to where it's just about to tip over, these clamps do wonders. You can do that right there. Your phone won't fall. Just make sure you don't shut off your camera or your microphone in doing so. So phones are great, and almost all of us have phones. But if you have a laptop or a computer, that's even better because your screen's going to be larger and you can see your teacher better. So if you have a desk that happens to be in your music space, that's great. Many of us don't have that. So it wouldn't be a bad investment to get a laptop stand. Now this is kind of a cheap one, but it does the trick. It puts it right where I want it. I can angle my camera where I need it like this. And I have a nice big screen that I can see my students, and if they have a similar screen, they can see me very well. Now, the third thing you're going to need, most people don't think of this right away, but get a chair with no arms. And a lot of times when you buy these chairs, most people don't realize it, but the arms are kind of optional. You don't even have to assemble them when you put the chair together, or you can take them off after it is. Again, if you're trying to play a guitar, and if you've ever experienced this, you know, and those arms are right here, you can't play your guitar. So you really need a chair with no arms, a strap on your guitar so you can have good posture. Again, that way you kind of can adjust yourself to where you need to be from your screen and your camera. For years I've been teaching in studio or in home lessons. And a lot of times I will handwrite the student's lesson in their blank tab book or whatever. But with more and more online lessons, I need to email the students their tablature or their sheet music. So you need a working email address and a printer to be able to print it out. And of course you might think, well, I can just pull it up on the computer screen, and you can, and that's okay. But most of us really like to have that paper separate. It's just kind of an old school thing, but it is nice to have the paper separate, and that doesn't tie up your screen if you're trying to have your lesson on screen. You can have your music separate from that. And one thing that's easy to neglect is the cleanliness of your screen and camera. I neglected mine for some time, and I noticed in my window where I could see myself, it looked foggy and blurry. Well, I got out the cleaner, cleaned up my screen, and the next time I taught a lesson, it was much clearer. I could even tell it on my end. So again, a minor detail, but to truly get the most out of your lessons, you want to be seen well and you want to see your instructor well. So all those things are pretty basic and pretty much a necessity to have those things. But if you really want to take it to another level, you can get a tripod, and these things come on top of selfie sticks, or I think you can even buy these separate, but they will grab a hold of your phone, and that way you have a lot more control over how you angle your phone to your guitar or whatever. Because what you're also going to need to do is think about your lighting. I see students with a light behind them, or sometimes they have their phone or their device down on a table like this, and the phone's going up, and there's a light on the ceiling behind them. Well, then on my end, they just look like a dark figure because they're backlit and I can't see the front of them. So with a device like this, or even a laptop stand or any of those things, if you put the lighting on that side of it and you're on this side, then you're going to be well illuminated. It's going to be very clear for your teacher to see your hands and anything you're doing. And none of this matters if you don't have good internet service or if you have a weak router. So you don't have to go over the top, but you do need some firepower in that department, because video is kind of heavy and it's going to take a lot of data to transmit video back and forth. So the better internet service and the better router you have, then of course the clearer your picture is going to be, the less freeze ups and the less lag you're going to have there. And finally, just some etiquette things. If your lesson's at 4:30, be ready at your computer, tuned up at 4:30, ready to take the call, or if you're the one doing the call, ready to do that. You're going to want to be patient. Don't overtalk your teacher, because there's, again, that little bit of lag. So a lot of times you may be starting to say something at the same time your teacher's saying something. And in my experience, depending on the platform, it'll cancel out. And if your teacher's demonstrating something and you're playing over, just noodling in the background, you may not even hear what your teacher's playing. So use etiquette, be patient, don't overtalk your teacher, and don't overplay your teacher, and your teacher should show you the same respect. So what I do a lot of times is I'll say, I'll play it, you play it back to me. Let's do that 4 times. And then usually that works pretty well. So those are some resolutions to some issues that I've seen as an online guitar teacher. If you have any other suggestions, please put them in the comments. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Till then, keep those fingers on those strings and keep practicing every day.